Betsy Guining with Scrapbooking Quebec. Today I'm here for the Scrapbook Nerd online shop, and I'm going to be creating a 12 by 12 layout featuring 49 in Market's Spectrum Sherbet collection. I'm going to be doing a bit of basic punch art and scrap lifting Betsy Lewitzke. She created a beautiful layout that's in Scrapbooking Cards Today Magazine, the summer 2022 edition. I'll show her page a little later on, along with another page I created using the very same design. And at the end of this video, I'm going to compare my first scrap lift with the one I do today. I just want to show you how material selection can change the look of a layout even when the design is identical. The point I want to make is you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you create a layout. Material selection can really change things up. The same design can result in a fun and whimsical look or a soft and serene one, all because of material selection. So here's the material I've selected. So I have paper and embellishments from 49 in Market's Spectrum Sherbet collection. This collection is cheerful, summery, yet it's muted and distressed. I love creating with it. The last time I checked, most of this collection was available at the Scrapbook Nerd, so I'm going to link up the shop along with the products I use in the description box below. So let's get started and see what's on my desk. And you're going to notice I did prepare a frame style foundation page in advance with 2 sheets of paper, and I'm showing you that I rounded the corners on the top piece. That's a Creative Memories corner rounder. I did gut the foundation page behind, and there's a tutorial on my channel where I explain how to do that. So that will be linked below. I did mat my photos in advance, and I'm showing you basically the cover sheets to 3 of the paper collections that go with this big Spectrum Sherbet collection. The first one was foundations. That's basically a lot of whites. They almost look like mixed media. The second one I showed you is classics. That's like where that collage type pink paper came from. And then there were solids. And so what I'm going to be using in this video is mostly the pinks and oranges. This collection also has a lot of greens and blues, but I've used a lot of this collection. So what I have left are these pinks and oranges. And 49 in Market calls this part of the color family Strawberry Lemonade. I'm also showing you I have a bunch of embellishment packs. Some of them are ephemera packs, some of them are laser cut packs that you have to punch out. And what I did in advance was I pre-selected some because these embellishment packs come with between 75 and 95 pieces each. So I knew I had to narrow down my choices so yeah, I could make this video in a reasonable amount of time. Now what I want to show you is the page that I'm scrap lifting. So here I am opening up the page. I'm not quite sure what the page number is, but there is Betsy Lewitzke's page. I absolutely love it. I love that half semicircle with a shelf at the bottom. Her colors are very saturated, energetic, and bold. I absolutely love it. I already made this layout. I already scrap lifted her, again, using those bold, energetic colors. Now, her theme is more childlike. Mine is a beach vibe, but the vibe really is the same with those energetic, bold colors. Now, what I want to do today is create the very same look, or the very same layout, I should say, except this time I'm using distressed, muted colors, and I want to see what it's going to look like. So the first thing I'm going to do is create that circle for the layout. So I'm only cutting out part of the circle because the bottom part will be covered up with a shelf. I'm using the Creative Memories custom cutting system. I cut in the middle of that circle, and I should say, yeah, in the middle. You could cut on the outside and in the middle, and I use the red blade. And now what I'm doing is cutting down some more paper, and what I'm creating here is a shelf for the bottom of the page. So when I place these pieces on the page a little bit later on, I will write the measurements. It will make more sense then than it does right now. So what I'm going to do right now actually is place everything on the page just to give you an idea how I'm going to be setting up the page. And again, this is a 100% scrap lift. Before I actually adhere these pieces, however, I do plan to add ink to all of the layers, and the ink I will be using is Morning Mist by VersaFine Claire. I did test it out on a little scrap of paper first just to make sure I liked it, but this is the color ink I most often use when I ink up layers that go on a layout. So they're all inked up now. Now I'm adhering all of these pieces to the page. I'm going to adhere them all except that photo block because I want to keep that separate until I play around with my embellishments, because some of the embellishments are going to be popping out from underneath that photo block and some of them will be overlapped as well. So you'll see that in a bit. Anyway, once this is down, you're going to see I get out all of my embellishing, and it's all around me here now. And as I mentioned, each one of these packs that I'm using comes with 75 to 95 pieces. That's why I narrowed it down. Now the laser cut ones, you have to actually pop them out. I'm going to show you one that I popped out. There's one of the laser cut packs, and there is one of the sheets that I popped out. Now they did pop out very well, but I did cut off a few of the little white knobs. That there is an ephemera pack. Those are not stuck in paper that you have to punch out. Those come out in die cut pieces. I'm showing you I have some leaves here. I mentioned earlier 49 and Market divides some of their embellishments into color families. This pink and orange and yellow, that is called Strawberry Lemonade. And those green leaves come from another color family where there's lots of blues as well, and that one's called Tidal Wave. So what I want to do here, the page I showed you earlier, what really struck me is there was a beautiful title around that semicircle. So what I did was I cut out alphas in advance using those dies there from Lawn Fawn. I think they're called Stitched Oliver dies, and I also think they are available at the Scrapbook Nerd. What I'm showing you here is that I cut out dimensional alpha. So basically I'm making adhesive foam backed alphas, and I used a sheet adhesive. I'm just doing the letter G right now to show you. I cut a piece of foam adhesive, put it behind the paper, and now I'm running that adhesive backed paper through my die cutting machine with the letter, and you're going to see out pops the letter G. So it's adhesive, it's dimensional, and I absolutely love the technique. I've been doing it a lot lately. So you're going to see, I'm just going to add that. My title is Strawberry Picking. So now what I want to do is show you how I plan to place my title around that semicircle. Now obviously a semicircle is easy to follow, but I'm placing it on wax paper, and I'll explain in a little bit. You can see I've taken a piece of wax paper, I taped it to my page and to my tabletop because I don't want it to move, and now I am just putting my title, Strawberry Picking, around this semicircle. The reason why this is a good technique, or the reason why I like it, is because this is a circle, number one, so I can kind of move it around anywhere. What I'm trying to say is I don't have to worry about centering my title at this point. I'm starting at one end, going around, but if it doesn't come all the way equal on the right-hand side, no big deal, it's a circle. I can take that wax paper with my title that's in a semicircle and kind of move it around. It's going to give me an idea where to start adhering my title and where to finish. So I'm showing you right now, I can just move it, and that's going to be particularly helpful when I start creating my embellishment clusters, because I'm not quite sure how I want to position my title at this point. All I know is that I want it to go around that semicircle. Now I'm going to do a little bit of punch art. Now this collection has beautiful, very general embellishments, but I am strawberry picking, so I wanted a few strawberries. And strawberries are so easy to make with basic shapes. Now you can see I have some really old Creative Memories punches here, and what I punched out were some hearts. Now I have what I call a splotch punch. It's like this little starburst. You'll see it in a little bit. I'm punching out a few of those in green. And then I have a really tiny flower punch. Again, these punches are ancient. This one's a little hard to punch, so I end up punching the little flowers out off camera, and you can see I have already constructed my strawberries there. So basically, I'm going to do one for you on camera. All I did was I inked up using that very same Morning Mist ink. So I inked up my strawberries. I took that splotch, which I also inked, cut it in half, and for each half splotch, I'm adhering it to the top of the strawberry, splotch side down. And that looks kind of like where the stem comes from in the strawberry. Now, in the past, I would punch out my own leaves, but this collection is full of leaves, so that's what I'm going to use behind my strawberries. So now I have all of my embellishing around me, and I'm about to build clusters. And essentially what I'm going to do here is create a diagonal look, top left, bottom right. I often do that. And I always start with the big pieces. So you can see I have those Viewmaster wheels, the large one in the top, the smaller one in the bottom. I tucked in what looks kind of like a notebook piece there at the bottom underneath that Viewmaster wheel. And I'm just going back and forth, repeating color and repeating shape sometimes in each one of these clusters. Now, when I received this collection with so many pieces in the embellishment packs, I thought, oh my, how am I going to use all of this? But for whatever reason, when I create with 49 and Market, it just lends to really easy layering. So I keep adding more and more pieces. It's just really fun to layer these pieces. So you can see I'm going back and forth, back and forth. I added a few words in the bottom right there, almost like another shelf underneath my photo. It says super sweet, then sweet. And now I'm coming in with some of the leaves. So I really like how the green, which is very different from the analogous color scheme I'm using with this layout, the pinks and the oranges and the yellows, the green really adds a punch there. So I add some of those leaves at the bottom, a little bit more at the top. And now I come in with my strawberries and the leaves as well, and a few of those little tiny flowers. I'm really loving how this is looking. And every once in a while, I'm coming in with my title, trying to decide where I want to place it. So I do decide I want it in the middle, which is why I ended up moving that embellishment cluster on the left a little bit down towards the side. And it's because of that wax paper technique I knew to do that. So at this point, I want to start adhering. I do end up adding more to it, but I have a lot of layers here. So you can see I just kind of moved each cluster over to the side. I could have also taken a photo of it, but I didn't. But that is a wise thing to do when you have a lot of pieces in an embellishment cluster that you want to adhere to the page. So here I go, adhering all of the pieces. I will kind of speed this up, so I'm doing it exactly like I had done it when I was placing them to the page. The only difference is I do end up adding a few more pieces. There you see me coming in with a film strip. I saw that and I thought, wow, I absolutely love film strips. So I added that to the cluster in the bottom right. I also really like how that yellow banner at the bottom that says sweet adds a bit of punch to this layout. So you're going to see me dig in to my ephemera pack and find another bright yellow piece to add to the kitty corner in the top left. Now for the strawberries I'm putting down, I do end up popping these on foam adhesive, and then I'm just coming in with a little bit of liquid adhesive to add those little flowers on top of the strawberry. So there I go, adhering the pieces in the top right as well. And it's at this point I do decide to add a bright piece of yellow. So I find this row of tickets there, and I just place that behind. It almost looks like a laser cut notebook that's ripped out of a notepad at the top there in pink. I absolutely love it. Anyway, these embellishments, again, are really fun to layer up. So basically, I'm looking at my title now, and I'm happy with that. So I am going to start adhering my title, and I really want it to be centered. So I'm starting by adhering the last word, picking, and I'm ending it where I want my title to end. And you saw me bring in a T-square there. That's because I want my word strawberry to basically start at the same level on the page on the opposite side. So I start by doing picking, then I go completely to the opposite side, start with strawberry, using my T-square, making sure they line up properly. I turned off my camera. I continued adhering my alphas, but again, those adhesive backed alphas are so fun to use. Now I'm coming in with just a few finishing touches. Again, more pieces. There were some laser cut butterflies, and I ended up going with the yellow ones. I tucked 2 in the cluster in the bottom right, 1 more there in the top left. And all I do right now is add some adhesive dots to the middle of those flowers in the strawberries, and that is it. So here's my finished layout. Off camera, I added journaling, and I used a fine tip black marker to add some dots to my punch art strawberries. Now let's have a look at the 2 layouts side by side. The design is identical, but the pages look different. The layout on the left is bold, has bright colors, and is very energetic and fun. It's great for this beach vibe page, but it's also fun for children's layout. For this type of layout, think energy. The other layout is cheerful, but the tones are muted and the paper's distressed. So it's less bold, more harmonious, and it's very fitting for these nature photos, but it could be used for a lot more themes too. The point is the pages look very different because the material selection is very different. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the Scrapbook Nerd YouTube channel, we would be absolutely thrilled if you did. The same thing for my channel, Scrapbooking Quebec. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.